going to be visiting with a couple of gentlemen who have been involved in relief effort in Houston as Hurricane Harvey, of course, has made his way through the metropolitan area, through Harris County, now moving its way east. Bristol Minsker from the Red Cross is going to sit in with us. Mike Orakpo, who's been involved in rescue efforts, is going to come by. And then finally, Dr. Rodney Rohde is going to talk about the public health aspect of the situation I talk about Houston, but as everybody knows, of course, we're talking about much of East and South Central Texas. And now as the storm moves into Louisiana, Lake Charles, and eastward. Now I bring in Mike Oonk and Ryan Nichols. And first question I want to ask you guys, either one who wants to address this, is how did you guys decide to become involved in the rescue efforts in the city of Houston?
We belong to a pretty large social network group that has people from all over the country. Ryan is actually from the Houston area, from the Woodlands area. We're both native Texans. So we just couldn't sit back and watch people suffer with nobody being able to do anything about it. It was our experience after the last storm that really the people that made the difference were just the volunteers that drove in and gave their time, gas, sweat, blood, tears, boats, water, whatever. So we just couldn't sit back at the end of the day and just say, hey, we're going to pray for Houston. No, that wasn't going to work for us. So we decided, bright and early the first morning that we could go out, that we would go out. We gathered absolutely everything in a period of 2 hours from nothing. I mean, boats, 40 cases of water, motors. If we didn't have it, we picked it up on the way, and we just went down there we just had to do something. At the end of the day, we couldn't just sit back and say, hey, I'm going to watch this play out on the news. There's people that are stuck in their homes. If that were happening to me, I would want somebody to come get my family out. It didn't happen to me, thankfully, but it's happening to people down here in the Houston area, so we're more than happy to donate everything that we have to help these people.
For the folks listening right now who aren't familiar with the Houston geography, the Woodlands is actually in the northern part of the city. We're going to hear from Mike Orakpo a little bit later in this episode, and Mike is down in the southern part of the greater Houston area. And actually, Mike, who's with us, and Ryan with us, they're actually on their way back from Dallas to Houston to try to continue their efforts. Your observations, you're there on the ground, to kind of describe what you're seeing.
It's very unorganized right now, to say the least. And the reason being is because this is worse than really what anybody thought that it was going to be, or that they were told that it was going to be. There's a couple other factors that are playing in right now. You've got too much water seemingly being released from the dams. I heard reports last night. I think it was I heard it on 7:40 a.m. down here, but these are supposed to be people that are pretty knowledgeable, saying that the levees, the pumps have broken on the levees on the northwest side of Houston, and so there's no water that's able to get dumped out. And so these levees are not broken, but essentially the pumps are broken down here, and there's just nothing they can do. So there's water filling up, but absolutely the worst thing that I think that I've seen yesterday was we were getting active texts and calls for people to come rescue them. I had one specific lady who told me, she said, I've got 2 children, 2 seniors that are disabled, 2 adults, and 2 dogs. And we were a half mile away from her. And then you've got Montgomery County Sheriff's Departments, and you've also got, the state troopers that were out there blocking the roads. Now, they themselves were doing nothing. Boats were trying to get in the water and were being turned away and told that we can't get in the water. Now, I understand that there was it could be a safety issue, but when we're showing people that, hey, this lady texted me 2 minutes ago, she lives half mile down the road, and we're just, met with a shrug on the shoulder, that kind of irritates people, man, and that's what's happening down there right now, at least as of last night. So as of last night, there was a curfew. Nobody could get out on the water, and they stopped letting us on the water at least anywhere that I knew of 2 to 3 hours before the sun went down. So as far as all the civilians in the area, when it comes to the local populace, it's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. There's people coming from everywhere, and it just lets you know how much people really care about each other, man. Like Mike said, we couldn't sit around and do anything. He's a veteran. I'm a veteran. We knew that we had to take action and get down here and help, and that's what we're trying to do. But at the same time, people are dying, and so I understand there's a safety issue. But when I know that there's a lady that we're going to have to cut out of an attic and she's about to drown with her children over there, I kind of want to be let through, even with our safety, because we've got boats and life jackets to go do what we were trained to do, and that's help and protect.
Mike and Ryan just mentioned Montgomery County, and again, I don't want to get too in-depth in the geography lesson here, but for those listeners who don't understand the area, Montgomery County is northwest of Houston. You've talked about there being some issues. What has the communication been like? And I don't just mean between authorities and people such as yourselves who are out there, but even within the groups the individuals like yourselves, God bless you, who are out there trying to save lives. Is it everybody just kind of on their own, or is there anybody coordinating these efforts?
There are a few people coordinating the efforts, and that's a great question. So right now, the most coordinated efforts that I've seen, one has been with the local fire departments. The fire departments, if you have, rescue type of materials, you can go to the local fire department. They're in the Woodlands or Spring or Conroe, and they are allowing you to assist. But the most coordinated efforts I've seen has just been the local populace around there. Like, we've got radios. We were talking to 2 trucks between ourselves yesterday, back and forth. And right now we're going to meet up with a group of 9 to 10 people that have about 9 or 10 boats as well. But we're having to go around law enforcement because they're not letting us in the water. So we're doing active rescues, but going around law enforcement. And Mike, you can probably explain a little bit better that we've got law enforcement in Katy that is asking us and begging us to come over there, but Montgomery County is not allowing us to go through. So there's a big confusion with what we're supposed to be doing as well. Is that what you're hearing, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I would echo that sentiment. So as far as coordination, yes, there are the fire departments, especially if they're, forgive me, I believe it's Station 71, is coordinating rescues in and out. So if you don't know where to go and you don't want to just go down there and find water and see who needs help, go to the fire station. We're getting messages and phone calls from people that still have cell service directly to us, asking us to come to their neighborhood and get them out. For most of them, and especially like where Mike Orakpo is, we just can't get to him. We spoke to Mike earlier today. We've been trying to link up with him since about 8 a.m. yesterday morning, and there's just no way to get there. So for your listeners that are not familiar with the Houston area, as I am not really, basically it's a giant circle, and at the very top of the circle is a large tollway, and we're having a lot of trouble getting south of there. The people that really, really need our help are south of there, in Katy to the northwest, in downtown Houston in the middle. That's really where we're trying to get to today. And for y'all that have never been to this area, not only is Houston an enormous city population-wise, but it is spread out. I mean, it is 60 miles plus tip to tip of just solid city and urban sprawl. So when you say, hey, we're the next town over, that's 30 miles by boat. It so far has not been navigable to get from one side of the town to the other. We're going down there today with more boats to see if we can't make some kind of Congo or relay system to get people ferried back across. But as of right now, there's no way to get into downtown Houston and get back out.
On behalf of everybody listening, we so much respect and appreciate what you guys are trying to do. Oftentimes there are people who sit back and wait for the next guy to act. There are people who sit back and wait for the government to take action. And for you guys, and then we'll speak with Mike Orakpo later, but for you guys to take the initiative and get out there, it says a lot about your character, a lot about your makeup, and incidentally, we want to thank you for your service as well.
So we appreciate you for your service as well. Thank you for the kind words. If we could, what we'd like to do is we have a GoFundMe link with our network. We have a very large network, man, and we'd like to put a GoFundMe link out there. We've already raised over $6,500, and all this money is going to be going not towards water, but towards needy supplies like diapers. It's also going to be going towards baby formula. What else, Mike?
Feminine products. The stuff that you wouldn't think that you would need after something like this is what that money actually goes to. I'd actually say they're golden on water. Right?
Yeah, they're good on water, but what they need, especially these babies down here, need formula, because I've seen babies that they don't have the correct formula down here. They're having to switch up their formula, and these babies are just pooping green, man, and it's nasty. Like, they need help down here. So we're going to give you our GoFundMe link. The money's going directly right now. As soon as you donate, we're not even waiting for the money to hit. We're going to go ahead and spend it. We've got receipts, and we're going to track everything.
100%.
So, Mike, can you give out that link?
I sure can. The link is GoFundMe.com/shelter-supplies-4. That's FOR-TX. So that's GoFundMe/shelter-supplies-FOR-TX.
our listeners know, we'll include that link in the description of the podcast as well. So when it hits iHeart, iTunes, Spreaker, SoundCloud, all of our various platforms, the listeners will have that information available to them. So, guys, we'll let you get back to your efforts, and please be safe. And, again, thank you so much for what you're doing.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We appreciate it. Have a great day.